Doubles and Coffee. Former Registrar of the Integrity Commission, Terence Farrell, who was there from 2006 to 2016, has spoken out and said there's new hope with the new chairman of the Integrity Commission, and the Integrity Commission had fallen so far off its moorings from the time when he was there, and he worked with disparate political parties and political leaders, prime ministers and politicians. And then he goes on to blame the former members or chair of the commission and so on. One thing you forgot, Mr. Terence Farrell, was that former Prime Minister Patrick Mervyn Augustus Manning and former Prime Minister Kamla Persad Bissessa, under whose term you operated, were not dictatorial, tyrannical, obsessive, and did not desire full control of the Integrity Commission, because they knew that they were operating under the highest order of corporate governance, propriety, self-respect, morality, integrity in public life. Since 2016, as you said, it has collapsed. The relationship has collapsed. Why? What's the only constant since September 2015 to now? Keith Rowley, a man who has attempted and succeeded in controlling nearly every independent institution in Trinidad and Tobago. No previous Prime Minister ever attacked the Integrity Commission like Keith Rowley attacks it. Keith Rowley should be and has been investigated by the Integrity Commission more than any other Prime Minister in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. Keith Christopher Rowley gets on platforms at different periods during his tenure to attack the integrity officials, the integrity investigators. Furthermore, the Integrity Commission has been starved of resources over the last 8 years like never before. So I read your article, and you are a very fair registrar, as I recall. However, you have missed the entire plot in this debacle that has occurred, because Keith Christopher Rowley wants to control. No cabinet ever wanted to show control and put people in positions to impact themselves. Keith Rowley does that. Keith Rowley places a president who preaches his gospel, not only the gospel of the PNM, but the gospel of Rowley, into President's house. Keith Rowley wants and collapsed the Police Service Commission and replaced it with his own Police Service Commissioners. Keith Rowley wanted to put his own Commissioner of Police in charge, and has had so for the last 2 years, and crime is at the worst levels ever. Keith Rowley wants to now do away with the Public Service Commissions and so on to put his people in there. Keith Rowley wants the Revenue Authority so that his Minister of Finance could select the board and the Director General of that tax-making, law-making, law-implementing body that could go into everybody's private business. Keith Christopher Rowley attacks the independent office of the DPP, gets together with his former Attorney General to usurp the authority of the DPP on criminal matters. Keith Christopher Rowley is the worst Prime Minister in history. You've left out that the relationship between the Integrity Commission and the government and the politicians and those in charge has worsened simply because Rowley is the Prime Minister, and Rowley does not want checks and balances. The procurement process, bridgemans, ministers purchasing and procuring vessels, no tendering, sale of assets, gutting of procurement legislation. Mr. Farrell, you're a brilliant man, but you left out all of that in your analysis in today's newspapers, and hoping that the Integrity Commission will move forward. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But when you have a Prime Minister who puts a president there who then selects a new chairman of the Integrity Commission, do you find that augurs well? Does that strike you as propriety, the corporate governance? That a PNM, put by a PNM, will choose someone and they will be independent? The math's not mathsing, Mr. Terence Farrell. Make it make sense now, my brother. God bless.